Okay. Or should I?
Yeah, you can turn that on. Right next to the monitor.
Yeah, no, I'll turn it off completely. Cool, that worked. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you a tale today. I'd like to tell you a tale of a young boy who lived in Puerto Rico and then came to America to discover his love for sports. He went from being a sports director for 1077 The Bronx, writing for the Pinstripes magazine for the Trenton Thunder, a farm team of the New York Yankees, and also during his life happened to set off an Amber Alert in Miami. This young boy, his name's Carlos Toro. Carlos Toro is a very animated person, as you've all seen before. He's a very lovable person too. Carlos came to Rider University as for business of sports, because Carlos loves sports, and he came here to figure out, right, what can I do with this? Let's start off with what Carlos, I said, does first here. Carlos is the sports director here at 1077 The Bronx. Now, you're thinking, well, what does the sports director do here? Sports director is in charge of running a show that we air called Galloping with the Bronx. And Galloping with the Bronx is a show where he talks about all the rider sports that goes on campus. He talks about the basketball team, baseball team, soccer team, swim team, wrestling, all the possible sports teams we have, men's and women's. And he also has interviews with them too. He just had an interview with one of the basketball players the other day. He had an interview with Steve Rudenstein. He does a lot. He does the play-by-play for the men's basketball team. And he also helps out with an event we have called Laundrobronc. And Laundrobronc is an event we have that helps out for the American Cancer Society, and we donate the money during Relay for Life. And there's a lot of times during that where we're like, all right, we really need someone to step up and help us out here. And the one person who always steps up, helps us out every single time, Carlos Toro. He's been there at every single event. He's helping us. We've almost reached $2,000, and we could not have gotten there without Carlos. So big kudos to him there. Another thing within sports that Carlos helps out a lot with is going to be, this summer he has an internship with the Pinstripes magazine for the Trenton Thunder. Trenton Thunder, a farm team for the New York Yankees. Carlos's job there, he's going to view upcoming prospects that they have there. He's going to be doing a lot of the stats for them, a lot of interviews, and it's just a really cool thing because Carlos loves sports, and this is definitely something in his major or something he wants to do. It's going to be awesome. He's writing for a magazine that's partially for the Yankees, and some of the Yankees players comes down there, so freaking sweet. And the last thing I was going to talk about here is how Carlos somehow set off an Amber Alert in Miami. Well, we're going to take it back here. Carlos, I think, was at around the age of 14, and he was in North Carolina for a soccer tournament, for a little like a soccer camp or a soccer tournament. And as he was getting on his flight to go from North Carolina to Miami, then he's going to take Miami to Puerto Rico, somehow the person didn't scan his ticket. And Carlos gets on the plane, goes from Charlotte to Miami. He's in Miami, he's walking around, and at one point, a cop goes, "Hey, you, come here." Carlos is thinking, I'm definitely in trouble, I need to get out of here. Carlos takes his stuff, hops on a train, takes the train somewhere else, then gets on his flight and goes back to Miami. He goes from Miami to Puerto Rico. He's in and his phone is dead this whole time too. So his mom can't even get in contact with him. And then he ends up calling his mom when he gets his phone charged from Puerto Rico, telling her, "Hey mom, back in Puerto Rico." And his mom's like, "What are you talking about? You missed your flight in Charlotte." And he's like, "No, I didn't, I'm in Puerto Rico." And this whole time while Carlos is taking the flight back to Puerto Rico, he thinks he's fine, this Amber Alert set off looking for this child. And the police who probably tried to get him over was probably looking for Carlos Toro. So as lovable as he is, he also gets himself into quite the situations. And an Amber Alert, for anyone who doesn't know, off of amberalert.gov, an Amber Alert is the America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response. Will be alerted if a child is reported missing and will appear on radio and TV and billboards and other mediums where people can see. Funny enough. While there's more to that story and reasons why he did that, The rest you can learn your own by asking Carlos. Carlos wanted to work in sports media, as I explained, and I believe he's doing just that. But by the end of the story, it's nothing less than the middle of Carlos's journey to the world of sports, as he's making that journey is now. Like I say, sports director, he's going to be ready for the Pinstripe News, and he's ready to make a news by sitting off Vanderbilt Alerts.